Oh, it is on the air. Oh.
All right, this meeting will come to an order. Can we have a roll call of the member present, please?
Ron Shamash,
Here.
Roger Graveday Peralta,
Here.
Tom Wenham,
Here.
Ryan Mishkin,
Here.
Stacy Summers.
Here.
And Bill Klein and Miguel Alonso have an excused absence, and you have a quorum.
Okay, we have a quorum, thank you. Welcome to the public. Can you please rise for Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Has everyone had a chance to read the February 20th minutes?
Yes.
Yes. Motion to approve.
I'm gonna add some typo correction. I'll
Oh.
give it to you, Kelly, later.
Okay.
Motion to approve by Mr. Winham, by our former mayor, Mr. Winham. Anybody seconds?
A second.
Okay, everybody for favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, say no. Motion passed. Are there any changes, addition, or deletion to the agenda, Kelly?
Staff is requesting to remove from old business the white vinyl fences discussion, being that we do not have a full board tonight, and it's just a staff-initiated discussion, so we prefer to have a full board present.
Okay, we're gonna remove all business, white vinyl fences discussion from today's agenda. Do we need a motion for that,
Yeah, you can
Kelly?
make a motion.
Can I have a motion?
A motion to, what do we say, take
Re-
it off the agenda, remove from the agenda.
Second? Second by Ryan Mishkin, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, say no. Motion passed. Okay, we're gonna swear in the witnesses and speakers, so anybody that want to speak or think they may be asked to speak based on that agenda item, please stand up, raise your right hand. Say I swear to say the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
I do.
Thank you. Okay. Our next order of business is new business. First item is petition number 19024, the Polk Company at Wellington Green. Do any board member wish to disclose any ex parte communication?
Don't have any, none.
No.
Okay, I pass there maybe once a week, so. What are staff recommendations, please?
Good evening, Damien Newell with the Planning and Zoning Division. Before you is the Polk Company, petition number 19-24 ARB 1903. The petitioner is seeking approval of a wall sign with technical deviation for the Polk Company restaurant located within MUPDD of the Wellington Green project, which is located at the southwest corner of Forest Hill Boulevard and State Road 7, as illustrated on Exhibit A of the staff report. The code allows a maximum sign height of 30 inches and 2 lines of copy for this tenant space. The proposed wall sign, as illustrated in Exhibit B of the staff report, is for a sign height of 47 inches with 3 lines of copy. The proposed wall sign has a trademark crown logo at the top with 2 lines of copy for channel letter. The building elevation has an existing banding that frames the sign area and is centrally located with approximately 4 inches on the top and bottom and 63 inches on both sides. The proposed wall sign is an appropriate scale and will help to enhance the aesthetics of the building. Staff does recommend approval of the technical deviation for petition number 19-24, ARB 1903, as presented, with 3 conditions of approval, as listed in the staff report. At this time, staff would like to enter the petition into the record, and staff and the applicant is available for any questions.
Okay, we'll open this item for public hearing and take testimony. Anybody want to come up and say something about it? No? Okay. Any questions from the board regarding staff recommendations?
Could you just, Damien, explain a little bit about this technical deviation? I read what was in here.
Right.
But could you just help me a little bit with the technical deviation?
The technical deviation, because the code only allows 30 inches for the height of the sign. So that's the first technical deviation they're requesting. They're proposing to go to 47 inches. So they're making the height, increasing the height. Also, the code only allows 2 lines of copy. But with the logo, the crown logo that they have and the channel letters, it's total of 3 lines of copy, what they're proposing. So this technical deviation is to allow the additional lines of copy.
Okay, basically what I see here is the crown, the logo is on top of the sign, otherwise at 29.25 inches, which
Right.
is fine. I think the crown actually enhanced the sign, it sits very nicely in the picture frame molding there. And I feel it's actually the right thing to do, so I have no opposition. Anybody else from the board want to comment?
I think you're right, Ronnie, that it looks like the poke and the company look like they're about 30 inches total. So it looks like that's the 2 lines with just the crown that just fits on top of the P. Are we positive again that this box is shown the right size? Have you verified that? Because we've seen some signs that we see them and then we see them out there and they are bigger than they appeared, you know?
Right. Visually, yes, we did look at it, but we didn't actually
We haven't
measure it.
measured that
No.
it fits there.
You mean like to scale?
Yes,
In the picture.
that it's actually the right size in that square. It's not even tighter than, because it's almost too tight. So if it's any bigger, it's going to be too tight inside this rectangle box. You know, if it's
Right.
because it's like perfectly fitting
Yes.
in there, and it's like I wouldn't want the sign to be touching the edges of this box, right? You don't want it.
You can
Right,
make a motion with state that.
Yeah. Okay.
and
I
with
think
the,
you said it was like 4 inches.
right, and if you look at the exhibit, which is what we'll be approving, they will have to have that, 4 inches, because that's how
Where's
you'll
the
be
4
approving.
inches shown?
It's 4.25.
Ah, here it is. I get it. Oh, okay.
Right.
It looks better here. Okay,
Right.
it looks better here. Great.
And they actually
Great.
show you the measurement, it's
Perfect.
56 inches.
Perfect.
So it's
This is
fine.
better. This looks
As
good.
is.
Good.
When I drove by there, I looked at the other ones that are in that same frame, like a Muscle Works and Franco, and then there was another one that was next to I forget, the Field of Greens. I can't think of what that other place was, and they're all kind of different sizes. And the one near Field of Greens almost takes up the whole thing, and it's just a lot of wording. I can't remember what it was, but I mean, I think it looks okay to me comparatively to what I saw in the whole shopping center.
Does anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve ARB 169 based on staff's recommendations.
Second?
I second.
Okay, second by Stacy. All those in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? No? Okay, motion passed. Our next item is petition number 19-025, Palm Beach International Academy Professional Center at Wellington. Do any board member wish to disclose any ex parte communications?
I just drove by it the other day.
I drive by it every day.
Every day.
Okay. What are staff recommendation, please?
Yes, before you use Palm Beach International Academy, petition number 19-25, ARB-04. The petitioner is seeking approval of a wall sign with technical deviation for Palm Beach International Academy in the Professional Center at Wellington project, which is located at the northwest corner of South Shore Boulevard and Greenview Shores Boulevard, as illustrated on Exhibit A of the staff report. The code allows a sign length of 20 feet for this tenant space. The petitioner is requesting a length of approximately 41 feet, as illustrated in Exhibit B. of the staff report. The overall length of the sign with the logo extend beyond the arched opening pillars, which does not appear proportionate to the building facade or in scale with the available area. Staff does recommend an overall length of 36 inches to be in line with this arch opening, as illustrated in Exhibit C. This will require reducing the overall height. However, the sign will still be visible and appear more in scale. Staff does recommend approval with the three conditions of approval as listed in the staff report. Again, this is a technical deviation for the length of the sign. The code only allows 20 feet. They originally requested 41. Staff did recommend the 36 feet, and I believe the applicant did agree to that 36 feet, but they are here tonight. And staff would like to enter this petition into the record. Staff is available to answer any questions, and I believe the applicant has a presentation.
Okay, we have opened the hearing for public hearing and take testimony. Can you please state your name for the record?
Gil Strelick Jr., agent for Signarama, Gil Media. I'm an image consultant.
Thank you. Go ahead.
No, I just, we're happy to abide to staff approvals by reducing it to the 15-inch height and bring it into the columns. I brought a sample letter. I've also, staff said that we had to go black instead of blue. So the sign will be black during the day, and it will illuminate white at night. We've used this material all throughout the village.
Okay, why did staff want it to be black rather than blue?
That is to be consistent with the approved master plan, sign plan program for that project.
Okay. All right, any questions from the board regarding the testimony?
Will the logo also be black?
The logo, because it's a trademark, that would not be required to be black.
Okay.
Is this the building where the urgent care?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
urgent
Correct.
care has big red letters, is
We-
that true?
Yeah, we did the urgent care sign as well.
Why could it have big red letters and this one have black only?
The ARB approved that because of the type of use and because it's an urgent care and the need for the visibility. So that was one amendment that the ARB did approve.
Okay. All right, if anybody want to say something, that's fine. Otherwise, they agreed to go with staff recommendations. So can I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve ARB 168 based on staff approval. Staff recommendation, excuse me.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
Okay, second by Mr. Ryan Mishkin. All in favor, say aye.
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 All
Aye.
opposed? Are you opposing?
No, I'm not opposing, I'll just abstain.
Okay,
We have
one,
I
okay.
had to vote?
Yeah,
I can't abstain?
You can abstain. Can you tell us why? or-
Well, I was,
He can't abstain unless he has some kind of conflict.
well, I was wondering, okay. I was wondering, did they prefer to make it blue? They wanted it black? They preferred to have it blue?
Our client preferred to have it blue, but when staff told us that there was a master sign plan, I'm guessing that blue wasn't in the master
they-
sign plan.
Awnings black?
The awnings are green.
They're dark green?
Dark green.
Oh, they're dark green. Okay, I'm fine. Well,
I mean, if you,
no, I'll vote again. I
Okay.
vote, what?
we can table the motion
No,
and
no.
start again if you wanted blue. I don't mind.
No,
giving
no,
it
I don't.
blue.
I don't want a blue, it's fine. I'll vote yes. Can I vote yes now?
Yes.
Am I too late?
Yeah,
Yes, you
okay,
can vote
change
yes
it to-
now.
Okay, motion passed. Thank you. But that's a good point, Raja. I would probably prefer to see it blue than black. It looks nicer.
Might have looked nicer. Hard to tell. A
Okay,
lot of colors going on, so maybe it's too much.
okay. Next item is petition number 19-026, the Windows Guy at Commerce Park.
Good evening. Brandon Miller with the Village of Wellington Planning and Zoning. Before you is ARB number 19026, ARB 19005. project is the window guys at Commerce Park West. The request is the agent, Gil Strelick Jr., on behalf of the agent, on behalf of the applicant, Signarama, is seeking Architectural Review Board approval for a tenant, the Window Guys of Florida, to install a secondary end wall sign on the north elevation with technical deviations. The Window Guys of Florida is located on the northeast corner of Fortune Circle and Commerce Park. And Commerce Park is located east of Village Park and south of the intersection on Fairlane Farms and Pearson Road. Staff based their review on plans submitted on February 28, 2019, and it's consistent with the Wellington's land development regulations. The proposed signage is considered a local tenant wall sign, and a maximum of one wall sign is allowed for the principal facade and one wall sign on the sign facade at 50% the allowed principal facade sign area. The applicant is requesting to allow the second wall sign to have 2 lines of copy, 33 inches in height and 20 feet in length, with a sign area of 55 square feet. The proposed sign is permitted, and the proposed end wall sign exceeds the maximum allowed height by 9 inches from what is permitted by code. Staff supports the proposed sign as the south elevation faces Fortune Circle and the west elevation, which is the main entrance, faces lush landscaping and another building. The primary wall sign is interior to the shopping plaza, faces other interior buildings, and cannot be seen from Fortune Circle. It can only be seen if entering the building's parking lot. This larger end wall sign will allow the user to find the tenant in ample time to turn into the plaza. Staff recommends approval of the proposed north elevation based on conditions listed in the staff report.
Okay, thank you. We'll open this item for public hearing and take testimony. Are you gonna represent them as well?
We just brought a sample. It's the same material used in the last, except the color will be red. It's white at night. Any questions? I'm here to answer.
Yeah, just the big question is the red neon kind of bright light or it just red?
No, it's just the perforated material that will go over top of
Over
the
the
white
lighting.
acrylic. So it's like this one is black, so the next one will be red over top of the white acrylic.
That's fine as long as it's not neon.
No,
You guys tell us if we need to add it into the. Right, did we have a discussion about neon lights? Like,
It's prohibited anyways.
it's prohibited, right? Because I remember we were gonna put it on the agenda, but we never really visited it. Okay, that's years back. All right, any questions from the board regarding the testimony?
And this looks pretty tight in here. Doesn't look like there's much room above the lettering. Is that really going to be the case?
I don't know. Where are the signs going? On the plan? Can we show us on the site plan or something where they go?
Do you have this exhibit?
Yes. No. Hold on, do I? I have the one that doesn't have that says sign. Hold on.
It's
It
along
faces-
Pearson Road.
Yeah, faces Pearson.
So it's
It's
going
the
here.
side that faces Pearson. It's actually.
I don't have one that
faces-
So
says
it's, I don't
sign.
need it, but here, it's going here.
It's going there on
the
Pearson. And what
Pearson
does that, is that the elevation with these windows that we're looking at?
Yes.
And where is the store located?
Pretty much right across from that white wall.
The,
Remember that white wall along
the
along-
extended wall
Right,
Yes,
right.
kind of, right around there.
in Pearson. Like before
The store is located in this building?
I'm sorry?
The store is located in this building?
The building is the store.
The whole building is a store. It's a two-story building.
And their entrance is, if you see the arrow, the entrance where their other main sign is right here.
I don't have that one.
Their main sign is here.
Yes, sir.
That's the one?
So he's looking at, I don't know if he wants to pass it down.
Oh,
The sign
I
that,
sent
the
him.
secondary wall sign is along Pearson Road. So if you look at Exhibit C, right where, here's the red, that's the building. The sign is right below Pearson Road, it's on that side. Okay. The primary entrance is facing west, where this building is, so nobody can see it.
I don't know. It's
They're
just-
allowed to have a wall
It's the
sign,
primary?
secondary wall sign, but the size that they want is too large for the secondary wall sign.
It's because it's
Requirements.
secondary, it's small, you know, we have
Supposed to be
restriction.
half the size of the
So,
primary.
What is this elevation?
North, I believe.
Matt?
This is
Yeah.
the main entry? This is the main
Oh,
entry
no,
to the
I'm sorry,
building?
what you're holding up there, I can't tell from
There's
this.
no sign there, so I don't think it's the main entrance.
What is that?
No, that would be the south entrance, that's the entrance to get into the building. So the main sign is straight ahead on the right. You're
Can
looking
you
at,
show all of us, please? We have,
It's Exhibit E.
this is looking from the south at the building. So this is the entrance into the building. The main entrance sign between this building and this building this is the western facing of it. The sign is be on the total opposite of that building, would be facing Pearson. This is the opposite side of Pearson.
It's
to
like
the
a,
south.
it's like an interior,
Yeah, takes an interior circle.
an
if you're
interior
familiar with
circle in there.
Development.
So this is where
The
cars
kinda-
would enter their store?
Correct.
That is the building?
Yeah, and as you can see, there's no signage.
That's literally the back side of where the sign will be that they're talking about.
Yeah.
That's like
It's the
the
other side.
complete opposite side of
The
the
other
Pearson side.
secondary side.
So their main sign is just up on the left of this?
As you pull in, it would be, as you're pulling down that road, it would be on the right.
Yeah, you pull to, yeah, to make a left.
Yeah, and it's directly facing the building across from it, if you see that close-up site plan.
is this the main sign that we have here in our packet?
That's the sign that they're requesting for a larger sign. So that's the sign that's facing Pearson Road.
This is facing Pearson Road. And what is the second sign that they want to put up?
They already put, that sign is permitted by code, and that one is facing west.
Okay.
It's facing another building. So it's, if you look at Exhibit E, it's facing the trees here. Well, you are allowed a sign on that side, yeah. That would be where your primary wall sign would be, because your door is there.
Let me ask you a question. The whole building is Windows Guys building?
They own it.
Let me ask you a question. We're really cramming it. I guess we have the limit of the 20 feet there into two lines of copy. Why can't we just say the Windows Guys and then in small letter of Florida continuing, rather than having the 6 inches clearance from both sides, from the window and the rooftop there? So why are we kind of trying? I mean, 3 inches on each side is kind of very tight, isn't it? Like from the top and the bottom.
It's open to interpretation. It's a matter of opinion. I mean, I believe that's the way their logo is on their business cards, and that's why we just kept it consistent.
Because it does look crowded. Don't you think they'll be open to put in a Florida like to the right of that, and we'll just give him a deviation to kind of increase the length
Yeah.
to kind of accommodate that?
Is it centered on the facade, or is it just to one side, or we can't tell from this photo?
It's I thought we had a larger one that we sent it. It is centered.
Centered just to
But-
miss the vent or whatever that is.
Yeah, but I'm kind of with Ryan there. It's kind of very tight. It looks like it's almost touching the roof and the window.
Upper maybe. Yeah.
Is everybody okay with it? Do you want to kind of?
Will you be
No,
okay with reducing of Florida slightly? Or,
I think if you reduce it slightly, that will help you, but if you want, we can put a motion that allows you to do it either way, either reduce it or go lengthwise.
I think I'd rather just, if the board has an issue with it being that close to the window, I think I'd rather just reduce it slightly. If you guys are looking to gain another inch or something in between the windows, rather than change it all up and go longer with it, because we don't have a drawing that shows it that way, and I'd rather come to resolution tonight. But I think reducing of Florida to a smaller size, if you want me to decrease it slightly, I think we can, my client would be fine with that.
Okay, what are you?
It's quite small now. I mean, how much smaller would you make this?
I don't know, this looks like it says it's 7 inches, so.
Well, what you could do is you can just tell them that, 33 inches is too large, which is the size of the sign, so the maximum amount maximum height would be, pick a number, I don't know what you're okay with, and then he would just come up with a sign that is within that parameter. Whether it
Yeah,
be
we
a
would-
smaller
we-
of Florida or a smaller the window guys.
Do you know what's the measurement?
6, we don't like to go in under 6 inches with the LED illuminated letter, so I mean,
But let me just ask, do you know the exact distance from the top of the window frame to the roof?
It's 33 inches.
I think the 33 is just,
Nope.
is it just the windows of Florida or?
I think
Maybe.
the 33
Oh, yeah, I'm
was
sorry,
the
yeah.
entire sign, Kelly, I
Yeah, I'm
believe.
sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so we have, you know, we're not fitting it in a 34-inch or 35-inch area. We always leave a few room. Unfortunately, I don't have that measurement exactly in my
Well, it
notes.
appears that the window guys is 28 inches as I look at this,
Yes, sir.
with a total of 33 inches.
Yes,
So
sir.
you only have very limited there to get in of Florida. I mean, you don't have much space. You're working with 33 inches there.
You know, 33 inches is the overall height of
Yeah,
just the sign.
right.
Just the sign?
Just the
so-
sign, that's top to bottom. That's not where the sign area is larger than that.
Can we
banding.
can we just say we have to have at least 4 inches above and below the sign? Are you guys okay with that? What
I
is,
Well,
what
he
is
may
staff
not be.
thinking?
I feel like,
If that's the parameters you want on to do, and then that's something that we can put a condition on. Which would be the same
It did-
condition that you
I don't-
had for the
I don't think
first
there'd
one.
be that much space.
I don't think so.
I mean, I didn't go out there with a measuring tape, but when I drove by it, I feel like, I don't know if they're gonna be able to do 8 inches, 4 and 4.
I mean, maybe that's not the right spot for the sign, maybe they should move it down to the center of
The
the
middle,
wall.
I was thinking the middle one has a
Right.
lot more room.
Not enough
The middle
room.
bay
Got a
has
lot
a
of
lot
space.
more room
Did
than
you
the
say that you
upper
have a
bay.
picture of like the whole building?
I looked,
Not just
I
like
don't have it. I know-
zoomed in? Okay.
Yeah, it sure seems like the middle band has a lot more space for this
Yeah,
sign than the upper
the
band.
problem with going to
It's
the
too
middle
low.
band is wiring.
You have,
We
You have,
it would be a nightmare to wire because you're talking about flooring and getting the wires to wire the sign is
you're
just
saying
not
electric for your for your sign.
correct. Each letter has a wire going to it, and just it'd probably be a wiring nightmare. The floor would probably be in the way.
I'd be comfortable if we have a motion that says that that we approve it, but pending staff, like review of the final proposal to make sure the measurements look fine to you
Well,
guys.
there have to be some sort of parameters that we
Yeah,
base it
yeah.
off of, so if you want like the maximum height of the sign to be whatever number you come up with, and then we ensure that it looks okay, maybe require that they have the 4 inches above and below
I think that's all we can
with
do.
the other sign.
Are you okay with that?
I'm okay reducing the overall height of the sign to 32 inches. You know, give you guys the 1 inch, and that would give me a little bit of room and on all the sides of the letters. Doing the 4 inches top and bottom, I can't attest to that to
You don't know
make
what's
it, but
going on there.
you know, if you wanted to reduce the overall height of our sign to 32 inches, I'd be fine with that, or reducing the of Florida down to 6 inches, which would gain us the other inch.
I think I'm flexible either way. I mean, the window guy looks pretty big, and so you can reduce that or Florida, but what are you guys thinking?
I
can't
missed
make
it.
a
What's
motion,
what's
so-
the allowable length there? How long can this sign be?
20 feet.
No, that's the allowable length?
The
Or that's the
allowable,
requested
so
length?
this is a secondary wall
Right,
sign,
so
it's
how
not
lo-
a primary wall sign.
So how long can this?
So a primary wall sign can be 20 feet in length, a maximum of 20 feet in length and 24 inches in height. And that would be their front entrance, which is facing west.
So this one can
right?
be 10
So
feet.
this would be 10 feet and then 12 inches high technically is what they would be allowed.
Right, but because it's facing Pearson, this is really where they want the sign
Correct.
to be. you
Correct,
know.
it's
The front
is
sign
more of
does
cons-
nothing to them.
This
yeah.
is more of a primary sign, is going to be their primary sign, but because of the way their entrance faces and the way the
Right.
building is designed, it's not designed for them to have a primary sign over the front doors. It's useless.
Exactly, yeah, I think
But
the
then
court
again,
should change.
the
and let them
ARB
choose what it
approves
is.
aesthetics as well, so, you know, if they want a sign that's bigger than 24 inches or 12 inches, and it doesn't aesthetically look pleasing, you know, you can determine that.
Is this what the staff is approving, just what he has there, Kelly?
Recommended.
Recommended.
Oh, recommended, yeah, excuse me.
I mean, we understand the location problem with the primary entrance, so we understand that they need visibility, so, maybe a smaller sign would be okay. I mean, we're okay with this size sign, but, again,
this
you don't
an-
have to go by staff recommendations.
Is this is the Window Guys store, is this an office or a showroom or is it a like what kind of, does it have a lot of walk-in customers?
That I can't answer, maybe,
So people, you have a lot of walk-in customers?
And it is an industrial area, so we can be a little flexible,
But it's on the main street that you drive,
right,
right?
so. I'm comfortable with the 4 inches on each side, up to 33 inches. If anybody want to do a motion, and if you want it reduced a little bit, I'm fine with that too. But I can't make a motion as a chair, so.
Would you
That's your
accept
guess.
this?
If it's actually, if there's no clearance there, no, I wouldn't be comfortable with that. No.
It's kind of hard to say without knowing what the clearance is.
Yeah.
Well, so you can put the parameters, you know, you can
For-
condition it as they'd have to have 4 inches on the top and 4 inches above that brown banding.
Okay.
And whatever the remainder is the size sign that they can have.
So 4 inches top and bottom, is that what you're saying, Kelly?
That's what, if that's what you
For,
want.
for it to be kind of arbitrary as well. I mean, it might look too small with 4 inches. I mean, depending on the space. It really used to be helpful to know what the space is. Without that, I
Right.
can't tell if this is in proportion or not. If this is just thrown in so we can see what it looks like. It's really kind of hard to gauge.
We're trying to help you to get out of it tonight, but it's kind of difficult without that measurement.
I'm good with reducing it 1 inch, and if you guys want to put the parameters on there of having 4 inches top or bottom, and then it will confirm the measurements, and then if we have an issue, we'll come back in front of you.
That sound great.
I will make that motion as you so stated, 4 inches top and bottom.
4
Okay.
inches from what, the window or from the brown banding?
From the windows molding.
It's going over the windows.
For
correct?
windows, yeah, yeah.
So the
Wait.
brown band, the brown trim,
I
so
think
it's
it's
4
too
inches.
much.
So whatever the
It's-
white,
I'm
they
not-
have to have
I'm
4
not
inches
gonna-
of white below it and 4 inches of white above it.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, it's gonna be pretty tight even with
Yeah.
4 inches, but
Mhm.
at least we give him some flexibility. We're gonna have to drive by it every day. If we made a mistake, we will know, you know. And every once in a while that happens.
You've driven by a lot of our work, and I haven't heard any critics yet.
I don't
No, you're
know.
doing great. Yeah. I remember the gloss brown fencing that we forgot to say no gloss, and we were seeing it. All right. So we have a motion for Mr. Winham. Anybody? The motion is that we're gonna approve the sign with the stipulation that it matches staff recommendation and there is no less than 4 inches from the top and bottom of the sign clearance on the white part of the wall there. Anybody in favor,
So
say
just to
yay.
confirm, there's 2 brown bandings. You see how there's a thicker brown banding and then there's a thin brown
It's a
banding
thin
above that window. It's the one that's above the window, right?
Yes.
Can we have discussion?
Yes,
Well,
please.
Well, I made the
You
motion.
made the
so
motion.
there has to be
When,
a
there has to be a
second.
second, does someone second?
No second? Then motion dies for lack of a second.
The motion dies. Continue the discussion, guys. Go ahead, Roger.
You know, in order to give this deviation, I'd like to see the whole elevation and see where this falls on the elevation and how big it's gonna be on this elevation. I mean, I'd prefer to see that before I would give this. Because we're asking for a sign that's twice the size of the normal sign. They're only allowed a sign about half the size.
Well, I'm agreeing with the petitioner here that this is really the primary sign. which is
It's possible.
20 feet is allowed, because, not because the entrance is not there, but because it's facing Pearson.
But I'm worried
So that's,
where I'm worried where it is in the building. I can't tell where it is.
we can stipulate that it has to be centered.
I don't know if I can't tell, are the windows centered or not? Would it look funny if you centered it? I mean, it's hard to tell from this picture.
It might look better aligned with the windows, for all we know.
I don't know. Or on one side, if there's room for the sign, it may have made more sense somewhere where there's room to put the sign. But I can't tell by looking at this photo.
Did they send a photo?
Do we, in terms of the sign itself, do we know if the owner is opposed to having it on one line, a copy?
No, I was just informed that we could do it in one line, but I don't have a drawing showing you that, so I'm not sure if that's going to be an issue with the board.
Well, I mean, if it's,
I think one line will solve it for me for sure, you know, because then you put in the window guys of Florida right next to it.
one line at 28, at a 28 inch,
Right, one line at 28, and then we'll add the
I-
extra, I believe it's 100 inches of Florida plus whatever space you need there.
Okay.
So we'll allow you to like
Well, there's going to be plenty of space if we go to one line.
350,
Go
right?
to one line and reduce the window guys to 28 inches. I can let the board know tomorrow in the morning exactly what the total length is and send them a new document, but I would agree to that.
yeah, and basically what staff will do is once we get that document, we'll verify it. Because at that point, I believe you still have the 4 inches at the top, or even more, and the bottom. And it'll be a 28, and then whatever the length will be. And based on, if there is, the board can let us know if there's a maximum that they would like the length to be.
What is the length now that could be there?
12 feet.
They're
12 feet.
requesting 12 feet, but 10,
For a
10 feet.
secondary sign, but we were thinking for primary, it would be
20 feet.
20 feet, which is what they're asking for.
So then just the maximum 20 feet.
Yeah, but again, it goes back to, for me, it goes back to the same question. Well, how long's the building? Does it align over the windows? Or look at how the staff's recommendation last time had to do with over the arches. I mean, we're approving something without seeing it, and they're asking for a technical deviation. So that's my concern.
I think we can give staff a little bit flexibility in approving it, so.
You could do that.
But I'm okay with that, I'm fine, based on the location, and I'm sure they want it to look good as well, so. Can I have a motion for that, to allow the off Florida part of the sign to be tacked on at the end, and keeping keeping it to one line of copy of 28 inches in height? And am I reading it correctly? The off Florida is 100 inches wide?
Correct. Yes, sir.
So it would be 240 plus 100.
Well, it wouldn't be 240 if I reduce it down to 28 inches, Kelly. It's gonna,
But isn't the
No, we're
window
not
guys
reducing,
is
we're not
20
reducing it.
Oh,
We're
okay,
letting
I'm
you
sorry.
have it the way it is.
okay, I'm sorry.
You're just moving the
Yeah, just moving up
second line
Florida.
of copy to
Okay,
the
yeah.
side.
But the of
And you
Florida
need a
needs to
space.
stay at 7 inches, right? It's not going to be the window guys of Florida where now it's.
No, the
28
off
inch
Florida,
of
yes, should still be limited to 7 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want that huge sign.
Correct. Yeah, I'm in agreement.
Otherwise, it's gonna be gigantic. But again, Roger is right here. We can't really see it because we don't see the building completely. All right. Anybody want to give me a motion?
I was gonna make a motion to postpone this until we had the document that we could all stop by the office and look at. But I'm willing to, if everybody else is in agreement and there's no questions, then I don't have a problem doing what the gentleman wants.
I'll make a motion postpone until we get an elevation that shows how it fits on the wall, how the signs can actually fit on the wall, showing the entire elevation of the building.
And I'll second
just-
that.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second. Any of those in favor say aye.
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 Anybody oppose? I'm opposing because I think we should resolve it today.
Yeah, I oppose.
And
No,
we
that
have two
doesn't
opposed.
We passed.
The motion passed.
No, it doesn't pass. You need 4.
We need 4?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
No,
Oh.
not if you don't have we have a quorum here. So
It's for this board, it's the majority of the board, not the quorum. for
Okay.
ARB. It's not the same as council.
So that motion
written
dies, but
differently.
you know, if nobody puts a motion, then it dies anyway. Does anybody want to put a motion to allow them to kind of extend the sign?
I motion
Okay.
to do what we discussed with them extending the 7 inches in height of Florida and do it all in one line.
Okay, we have a
Yeah.
motion by Stacy Summers.
I
that-
agree with that part. Where is it is really a big thing. If we can think
can
up with
tell them
something
to
and show
Is it-
staff and staff says this is cool.
Center it.
Is it the issue
Or
of,
is it,
Is it
It's-
centered in the buil, I think it's, is
Well,
it
that-
centered
that
in the
could be a
building?
con-
Is it to the
is
left?
it in
Right,
proportion?
that could be
Where
a
is it
building?
aesthetically?
Correct.
That could
Is
be
what
that could be a
they're-
part of your condition, that it's centered, and also, I'm assuming, because you're not seeing the entire building, but at least right now, if you do a maximum length of 30 feet, and centered in the building, that will at least accommodate what you're looking for, because you know exactly where it's gonna
Right.
be. And this
Right.
building is well over, what's shown in the picture, because this is it's zoomed in on that area.
Okay, we can give you guys the right of veto if it's not aesthetically centered and
Right, so
pleasing.
you could condition it, requiring that they provide overall, showing the entire building, showing it centered, and also the maximum length of, I believe, 30 feet will probably suffice for that.
Definitely will cover it,
Um,
yep.
And the 4 inches on the top and the bottom,
Okay.
which is the concern of the board.
Ms. Summers, are you okay with that amendment to your motion? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Can I have a second?
Yes, I'll second that based on Stacy. So he will not get a permit to do this until he submits
Right.
this drawing, is that right?
Right, basically, the drawing will be submitted, so a part of the condition is that the applicant will have to submit the drawings, and staff will have to approve it and give them review it and give them a final approval before they can get a permit.
Okay, one line and 4 inches from the top end and
the
bottom,
bottom.
and be centered on the building.
On the building.
Okay, yeah, I'm
And
okay.
30
And the off,
30 feet in length, yeah,
maximum.
okay. I'm okay with that. yeah.
right, and the off floor, that has to be smaller, no more than 7 inches.
Right.
Okay, so with all those stipulations, you can get it off the tape, Damien, I guess.
Now, all right, I'll
We have
make
a
that,
motion.
I'll make that motion to make it official.
Okay,
We need a
I
second.
think we had a motion from
Oh,
Ms. Summers for
oh,
that,
oh,
and you second
I
it.
second Stacy's
So-
motion.
Everybody, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
No,
One no. The motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you, board.
Okay. Yeah, but that's actually a good idea to ask the petitioners to give us a good rendering of what's going on and more or less proportional to what they're presenting, because that makes our job a lot easier. And then we can let them get out of here rather than coming back.
well, I mean, they're coming, asking for something from us. They should be proving their case, not making us guess what they're trying to do.
No, I agree with that, and I also trying to work with everybody as much as we can.
Well, I'll be back here in a month.
Right. Okay. Our next item is petition number 19-029. Design and Touch Jewelry at Village Green. Do any board members wish to disclose any ex parte communication?
None.
Not here. Actually,
None.
we haven't mentioned that before we got staff recommendation on the previous item. Does anybody have any ex parte communication on the previous item?
No.
No, I passed by there, actually. I was in the Art of Life right next door. Okay, so let's hear the staff recommendations, please, on that one.
In front of you is ARB number 19029, ARB 1906 for Designers Touch Jewelry at Village Green. The Preferred Signs, Inc. is seeking ARB approval of a secondary wall sign with technical deviations for Designers Touch Jewelry in the Village Green Shopping Center, which is located on the west side of State Road 7 between Stribling Way and New Vista Avenue. Staff based their review on the plans that they submitted on February 28th, 2019, prepared by Preferred Signs for consistency with Wellington's land development regulations. The proposed sign is considered a local tenant wall sign, and a maximum of one wall sign is allowed for the principal facade and one wall sign on the facade at 50%. The allowed the applicant is requesting to allow the second wall sign to match the principal wall sign by having one line of copy at 22 inches in height and 20 feet in length, the sign area of 55 square feet. They are requesting the secondary elevation wall sign to be equal to the size of the wall sign on the primary elevation, which is north. And currently, they are located at 1035 State Road 7. And their master sign plan had previously allowed for these two signs to be 22 inches in height. The signs had already been purchased and manufactured, and so the ability for them to continue to use these two signs would eliminate the financial burden that the owner would incur to construct a new, smaller sign. And due to the unique location of this building, the north elevation, which is determined to be their primary elevation, doesn't face 441. Their secondary elevation, which is the west elevation, is internal to the commercial center, and it faces the entrance, which would allow greater visibility to customers that are entering the shopping center. So based on the analysis noted above, staff recommends approval based on the conditions listed in the staff report.
They had both signs made, and now, and they shouldn't have, the secondary sign should have been smaller than the main sign, is that correct?
Well, where their current location is, which is also on 441, they were allowed to have the two signs that were that height and length, and they relocated into this plaza where the new Starbucks is, and now they're not allowed to have the secondary wall sign at that height.
And they knew this then when they had purchased or rented the land?
It's a different
We had
store.
we've been doing business in Wellington Reserve Building for 12 and a half years. So we've been existing for 12 and a half years. We've now relocated to the new location and would like to transfer the two signs that were approved by Wellington 13 years ago, instead of making a second sign smaller.
But you're in a different location now than where you were formerly.
Correct.
And so the one sign doesn't fit the requirements then of where you're located presently.
Well, they both had the same requirements. He had gotten approval back then, 13 years ago, to have that second sign at that size.
Where he was located
Yes.
before.
So he's
Still
been
in
through
the
the
village- in the
process.
village
Yeah,
of
so he's
Wellington.
been through the process already, so this was he changed locations, so he has to go through the process again if he wants to keep that sign. So it's not like he manufactured.
So we have
the sign.
a similar situation where we have the side of the building facing the main road, and you want that visibility, and
We have no frontage on 441, so we're facing north next to Starbucks. Our main sign is facing north. The west side of our building is facing Trader Joe's, internal of the parking lot. And with having no sign frontage on 441, it would be an advantage to us to use our existing sign. It's a little bit bigger, and because the Village of Wellington approved it 13 years ago, on the same street of 441.
okay. Yeah, I've been in your jewelry store, so you know.
And I'm sorry, what was your name?
Harry York.
Okay. So any questions, more questions from the board? Or comments?
So I understand, this is the Starbucks building, is that correct? So it's Starbucks and the jeweler are the only two tenants in this building?
Correct.
And they're each permitted to have two signs, a primary sign and a secondary sign? Starbucks and Starbucks has a secondary sign?
Correct.
So the west side, so in Exhibit C, you can see where they want to put it,
Yeah, I can
on the
see.
west side facing Trader Joe,
Northwest.
on that white wall with the window and black awnings on them.
So that's the west elevation, so.
So it's facing Trader Joe.
We're adding it to the west, the side that, as you turn in from
Yeah, it
the
faces
street,
Trader
it'd be
Joe's.
on that side of the building.
Right, so if
So it
you
would be
go,
on the side and where the palm trees are.
Right, so when you
Sorry.
go in, when you visit the shopping center, whether Trader Joe or whatever,
There's no visibility on Stribling. It would just be from the Trader Joe's entrance, internal of the plaza.
right, I personally have no problem with that. And it looks like you have plenty of room for it anyway on the walls, so you're good.
And that's when you turn it.
And staff is recommending approval, right? Okay, thank you.
This is maybe a silly question, but
So
is the
Trader
sign in
Joe.
good shape, I take it?
And
It's in good shape, and Mark Weber's with Preferred Signs. He has actually redone the signs.
We've
modified it, it's been repainted,
new
LEDs and-
Okay, good.
Chicken wings placed,
Okay. We have too many conversations going.
right.
Does the village allow moving signs?
As long as the building department approves it.
One sign is already up. We're open for business, and one sign is up already. Hopefully approved.
I motion to approve.
Okay, we got a motion from Ms. Stacy Summers,
Second.
second by Mr. Ryan Mishkin. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
Reluctantly, but
Okay, motion passed, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay, our next item is petition number 19022, Wellington Green Congregate Living Facility. And does any of the board member wish to disclose any ex parte communication?
Nope.
No, we're good. Staff recommendations, please.
Yes, Damian Newell, the Planning and Zoning Division. The petitioner is seeking approval of the building elevations, exterior colors, materials, and site amenities for the proposed CLF within Pod A of the Wellington Green project. Staff notes the petitioner has indicated the covered parking, trellis, gazebo, shade structure, entry wall, and signage will be submitted as a separate request in the future. The Wellington Green project consists of 7 MUPDs and 1 PUD. The 6 perimeter MUPDs, A through F, and the mall centrally located in MUPG were approved for a variety of commercial, retail, restaurant, hotel, and office uses. The PUD currently consists of 224 acres with residential pods A, B, and C. Pod A is 46 acres with a portion developed as the existing New Vista Health Center. The remaining 40 acres, as outlined on this map, is the subject site for the proposed CLF.
that's the one in red?
Yes.
Okay.
Across the lake, to the south is the Castellina residential community, and to the east is the shopping center with the Whole Foods. The proposed CLF project includes 8 one-story villas, 5 three-story garden flat buildings with detached parking garage buildings, 1 4-story assisted living facility building, 2 6-story independent living building with a 2-story commons building in the center, clubhouse, and entry feature building. All the buildings are proposed with smooth stucco finished walls and accent stone veneer on some of the buildings. The villa elevations, as illustrated on this slide, are provided in the staff report as Exhibit B. The building is proposed with a mean roof height of 17 feet, flat concrete tile roof with a slope of 512, awnings. Staff does recommend the petitioner add projections to the front facade at both ends of the building or in the middle with the garage, where the garages are located.
Say that again, Damien, I'm sorry. What do you recommend again?
We recommend that they add some projections to the building. The locations that we're looking for is either at both ends of the building, projecting that section out, or if you look more in the middle,
Where the garages are?
where the
Okay.
garages are, having that project out some,
Okay,
okay? Also, staff does recommend the dormer size be reduced to make it more appropriate scale for the facade and the building.
okay.
All right, do we have any other questions on the villa elevations before we move forward?
Anybody?
The garden flat buildings are proposed with a building mean roof height of 42 feet, flat concrete roof tiles with a slope range from 212 to 612, aluminum patio railing, and decorative shutters. This slide illustrates the front and back elevation, and the next slide indicates the side elevations. Any questions on the garden flat elevations?
Is there a projection there of, or recess of the middle part? Is that what it is? And the
There is some projection,
and recess, and you see like little balconies also?
yes,
up
with the
there.
balconies
Okay.
there. On the sides, there really is no projection, but it is on the front and the back.
Okay,
All right, this slide is the one-story detached parking garage building for the garden flats. Staff recommend breaking up the roof line of this garage building by having a large dormer in the middle instead of having the two small ones that they have.
okay.
And incorporating column details at the end, similar to what's on the garden flat buildings.
Right. Anything, where does the rear elevation face? What does it face?
The rear elevations face in the staff reports, if you look at Exhibit I is the site plan.
Okay. And does anybody have exhibit I now?
Is it this one?
It's the very
Yeah.
last page, yep.
This one or not?
Oh, it's the very last page,
And
okay,
is
let's
it-
go. Okay, got it. Last
Where is
page.
this? Is it, where is this?
The garden flats are, yeah, exactly where you pointed in this area here. This is where the garden flats are.
Okay,
And in between the buildings, the garage, that's where the garages are located.
So-
where it says covered parking?
No,
No, where it says parking garage typical? No, no. Yeah, maybe. Where it says parking garage typical and points to one? Maybe?
Where do you see it? right there?
Is it these buildings in here?
It says right here,
Yes.
the garden flats,
That's the other flats,
It's
but now we're
saying
looking
these.
at these detached garages.
right in the middle.
Which are those in the middle?
right, they're in
And
the
they're
middle.
double-sided, or they,
No, it's,
So where's the parking?
What?
they're, okay.
what was
Oh,
that?
oh, right
Oh,
in,
yes, the one that's by itself is not double-sided, so that's the only one that's,
But the ones in the middle are double-sided and they both
yep.
match the front elevation?
Right.
So they have all garage doors. So the back elevation you're asking about, Ronnie, must be this one right here.
the single garage one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and with the back wall facing that
Okay.
spot there.
Because the other two have the back-to-back, got it. Okay, so I mean, you can keep on going, but I think we probably wanna see more features on the back there because they're facing the other garden flats and the structures on the left, the villas on the left. Okay, I'm good.
Any other questions? Okay. The assisted living building elevations as illustrated on this slide are provided in staff report as exhibited D. The building has a mean roof height of 50 feet, flat concrete tile roof with a slope of 512, awnings and shutters. Staff recommend providing additional shutters to the upper floors at the end of the buildings on the north and west elevations, and shutters on the upper floors of the east elevation. So, as you look at the elevations there on the upper floors, centrally, there is shutters there, but we're looking for them to continue those shutters and put them on the end section of the building.
So you want them, not
Not-
just the two windows on each side, you want it all the way across?
Not all the way across.
Or just the end ones?
Just the end ones.
Got it.
This is the pool. Is the south the pool? What am I looking at on the south? Is that where the pool is, or?
The south,
The bottom.
Oh, or is this the
Yes.
main, this is,
is a, that's,
the lake is, it looks out to the lake?
right.
This part
Oh,
goes out to the lake.
this is the south.
That's right here.
This is the south. Look at that. Oh, I see it. I see it now.
Here.
I got it.
Like that faces the mall,
Okay.
the lake over there. And this would be the shopping center where Whole Foods is.
This one, north.
So are you asking for anything on the south elevation, or are you happy with it, Dana?
Well, the south elevation is to also include some additional, of those shutters, decorative shutters.
Okay.
Any other questions on this elevation?
All right.
Next is the independent living building that has a two-story in the middle, two-story building in the middle with two six-story wings at either end of the building. As illustrated on the elevation, in the middle, the mean roof height is 43 feet, 7 inches. It has a metal roof with a 312 and 612 pit slope, awnings, and shutters. This is the rear elevation that will be facing the lake and Castellina to the south. And there's the pool is at the rear of this building. All right, the next two slides I'm going to show it will illustrate the six-story, the two six-story wings of the independent living building. This building has a mean roof height of 68 feet and 6 inches. It does have a flat concrete tile roof with a 612 slope. It does indicate awnings and architectural details.
Is that
Again.
like the tallest building we have in Wellington?
This is the,
I think it will be.
it will be the tallest, yeah.
And planning and zoning
Yeah.
approved that, I guess.
Yeah, along State Road 7, you're allowed to have 72 feet.
They're allowed to go 72. I can't remember the exact height of the new hotel with the,
I think they were like 5.
I think it's only 50.
five,
I
but
think
they
it's only
have
like
the-
53 feet or something.
I don't
and
remember
then they
seeing
have the-
6.
the trellis and the, yeah, so it's a little bit, when you include that, it's a little bit more.
Okay.
Any questions on these elevations? Okay. Next is the clubhouse building, which and the entry feature building. They both have a mean roof height of 28 feet. They have metal roof with a 312 and 612 slope. They have accent stucco sliding, shutters, and architectural details that are consistent with the other buildings in the project. This entry building will be located from the access from the ring road when you come in from the mall. This will be located at that location. And looking at your site plan, the clubhouse building is located just northwest of the entry building. Any questions on these elevations? Okay. All right. This slide shows the proposed color palette, which is consistent with the surrounding area and the Wellington's approved ARB color chart. This slide indicates standing seam metal roof and concrete tile roof in a light gray color. Staff is recommending the applicant incorporating accent colors or material in the areas illustrated on the next few slides to help break up the buildings and emphasize the projection and the recess. So the next few slides will show the locations, and also if you look in your staff report, they're shown. What staff is looking for is, again, some variation that will kind of help enhance the building and help to break it up in these locations. Staff is open for making these recommendations, but the board can change it. The board can indicate the color and or material that it should incorporate, if any. So these are the locations.
Okay.
Any questions?
Did you discuss it with the applicant?
We did discuss it with the applicant. They're available to discuss it tonight with the board.
Okay.
Staff does recommend approval with the conditions as provided in the staff report. Staff would like to enter this petition in the record for tonight, and staff and the applicant is available with any question. I believe the applicant has a presentation also that they'd like to go through.
So let's open it to public hearing and take testimony. Can you please step up, state your name, who you are, why you're here?
Good evening. For the record, Jennifer Vale with WGI, agent for the applicant. Again, we have the CLF at Wellington Green PUD Pod A before you tonight, requesting architectural review board approval of the building elevations, exterior colors, materials, and site amenities for the proposed congregate living facility within Pod A of the Wellington Green PUD. This site is outlined in red, is just over 40 acres in size. Again, the zoning is PUD. Future land use is part of the large-scale multiple use. The existing 158-unit New Vista Health Center is outlined in red in the southeast corner of the property. And the proposed balance of the unbuilt but approved 620-unit CLF for the property is what we're here before you tonight with the architectural approval request. This is an approved site plan, and just to better help orient you with each of the different buildings that we're asking for. Highlighted in red is the proposed independent living and amenity center building. And again, as staff has already shown you the elevations, We have not provided any modifications, as staff indicated. We do feel that especially on the independent living, that there is a lot of architectural variation and detailing that does not warrant any additional color or material on these elevations. And again, the proposed amenity center that falls within the 2 6-story wings. Also to orient you is the 4-story assisted living facility. Staff did indicate in the conditions for the to propose additional shutters at the ends of the building. We are in agreement to add those along the top portions of the ends of each of the facades.
Okay.
Again, the sales center, highlighted in red. And the guardhouse, I know it's a very tiny little yellow or red dot, but it is well within, it is an unmanned guardhouse, but a nice entry feature for arrival. It is a gated entry at this location. The garden flats are 3-story. There are 5 buildings, 3-story. I know staff did indicate to add some additional coloring or materials or detailing for the elevator shaft that falls in the middle in this location. However, we have somewhat of a conflicting condition where it's asking for that to be the same color and materials as the adjacent wings. So I can go through those conditions a little bit later, but we do believe that the accents as provided are providing that visual interest and separation along the facade. And then again, the garage building's located between the garden flats. And the 2 that are blocked on both sides by the garden flat buildings themselves do have back-to-back garages on both sides. And then the one that is to the west, that is only a one-sided garage building, there is a large green space on the north of that where it has the rear of the wall. So a lot of the detailing that I think you had kind of alluded to in the discussions previously with staff, there will be a lot of landscaping in that area. So. And then again, the villas that are located at the northwest end of the site. And we are in agreement into adding detailing on these villas.
Okay.
Again, the colors and materials as presented by the staff. Also the site amenities. We do have the entrance gate detail. Again, as I said, the site will be gated at the entrance to the independent living facility. And again, all of the buildings as highlighted in red and their location is proposed, requesting your approval, just to give you a better idea of where all those buildings fall within the site. Again, staff is recommending approval subject to conditions. We have checked all of those that we feel we're already meeting. Again, the additional condition 1B with the villas, asking for the additional detailing and the modification to the dormer. We're in agreement with making those modifications. The condition 1C on the garage buildings to add a large dormer in the middle. Again, we had added 2 smaller dormers, felt that that was sufficient, and the column detail at the end would build, it's in between really and facing in the middle of an alley is kind of that aspect, so I don't know that the additional detailing is necessarily relevant in that location. Condition 1D, the assisted living building, again, including the additional shutters on the upper floors. We're in agreement to adding those. Condition 1E, whoops. Is in regards to patio railings consistent with the new building, New Vista building roof railing. I apologize. Here's a perspective sketch zoomed in on the independent living, kind of showing the detailing of the proposed railings. And then highlighted next to that are the New Vista railings that are on the roof. Both of them do have detailing, however, ours are slightly varied from that. And we feel that ours are in keeping with the architectural theme of the overall proposed CLF community. And again, staff did indicate the accent color or material as indicated in the staff report. Just for clarification, I believe the staff report is showing an older elevation of the New Vista building. It was approved, I think, with those more of the creamy yellow colors. It has been, I believe, repainted because it is more of the white and tan neutral, which is very much consistent with what we have proposed. And we feel that we are consistent with that and that the additional coloring is not necessarily needed with the additional shutters and other varied dormers that we have agreed to add. Again, we're in agreement with all of the remaining conditions and would be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Okay, thank you. So what I'm looking at is we have like 3 really issues you don't agree with, which is the first one is the garden flats and the detached parking garage elevation. You said they want the same color, you want different color, which is okay, but they want some more details, right, Damon, on that one?
Correct.
You want them to bring something out or not?
We're starting with the villa front facade.
No, we're actually looking at Exhibit
Oh, you
C,
wanna start
garden
with the
flat
gar-
and detached
you wanna look
parking
at the
garage
flat parking.
elevation.
Okay, we gotta go back to B2, but okay.
Okay.
Oh, no, this is the villas.
On the screen is
So
actually
it's on this, whatever you
Oh.
see on the screen.
No, that
there.
was the
that's the garden.
garden
flats.
villas.
Right, so,
So this,
Damon,
this-
you wanted the center part to be white, is that what it is?
Well,
Are we talking about the villas?
No, no,
no,
we're
the,
not.
the
Okay.
garden
This is
flat.
Garden.
Garden
flats.
flat, Exhibit C, like Charlie.
We go to the garden flats. This is
We're gonna do that
garden
in
flat.
the detached garages.
So condition 2A outlined adding accent color / material shall be incorporated in the proposed buildings as indicated in the staff report. And in the staff report, the central elevator shaft was the area that was indicated by staff. But if you look at condition 2B, it says the garden flats elevator shaft shall be the same finish, trim, and color as the adjacent building wall.
So you didn't really want that, Damon, you're
No,
okay with the
the-
gray there, right?
The intent is the structure that it's a part of, that building. So whatever color is in the middle section, it would be that same color.
I'm confused.
And are you just talking about the portion that's up above,
Correct. Yes.
the overrun?
Yeah.
That's all.
Oh,
Okay, we thought you were
Overrun.
speaking to the
the
entire.
elevator
No,
overrun.
No, it's the-
Okay,
Okay, I thought we were talking about that whole wall.
And is the
Yes.
elevator overrun in the same plane, or is it pushed back?
Probably not, probably in just a tad, but,
Oh, but it's close.
yeah, it should be very close.
Mm.
We can accept that easily, now that we
Yes.
better understand that comment.
yeah, we thought it was the entire area.
So it's a non-issue now. All right, great.
What is the
So let's move on to,
that in their drawing? Is it have something on it? Is it what's?
It's stuccoed, it will.
Maybe that's the dash behind. Maybe I can't tell. There's no detail on that tower right now. Yeah.
Do you want to see some details?
No, it's fine. I was okay with it white if you want to keep, you had it white previously?
Yes.
You prefer it white or the beige?
Honestly, probably not. It would probably blend in better if it were the wall color.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of details there with
That's
the
fine.
balconies and everything going on. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot of action there with
That's
the
fine.
roofs and everything. Okay, so let's move to the same exhibit, go back to the detached garage. And there's two things. Staff wanted a bigger dormer in the center. I agree with you on that, Damon, rather than have the two center ones. And I asked you guys gonna have something on the rear elevation on the one like standalone garage? You said you have some grassy area like facing there.
There's north of that.
Is there like vegetation right behind the garage that cover that garage?
A lot of it, yes.
If there's vegetation there, I'm fine with it. You know, if you're covering that big flat wall that's going on forever, that would be great. So,
You would like to see a single large dormer in the center instead of
I-
two smaller ones?
yes, I think that will definitely break it up. It'll
I
make
like
it
it
look a
too.
lot nicer.
Yeah, and what do you guys think? Did you prefer? What did you think?
I think this is what our architects thought was simple, but this is not something that I'm personally overly passionate about, so if,
I feel it's kind of boring the way it is, and it doesn't even add to it
I
like
like it because
that.
it's the same size as like on all the buildings.
It's going to be, I think it's very close to the buildings. Sorry.
Oh yeah, please, guys, when you talk, please talk to the microphone so we can record you. Okay.
I can, how about we have them render it up that way and we bring it to staff with both options and we see if there's a strong preference for one or the other.
Eh,
I can bring it to Damien or so and we can say, here's the two little ones versus the one large one and, I don't have a strong objection either way.
If you're not Damon, are you okay with one big one in the middle? Everybody's okay with it. They just go with the one big one and just leave it like that.
Easy enough.
All right, and I think it look a lot nicer.
I'd have liked to have seen the other way, but both, but yeah,
And
while we're here.
and we understand that there's like plenty of vegetation in the back, so staff will make sure it's there. So we don't have to change the rear elevation. Okay, that take care of this issue. And the last issue, if I'm gonna state it correctly, Damon, you can fix me, you can correct me. Exhibit E, independent living in common elevation. Can you explain to us, Damon, again, what you wanna see in those areas you marked in red?
So on the screen is a architectural or an artistic rendering of the portion of the independent living building. And that white wall on the right-hand portion, I believe, is the one that's of concern because it's in flat view, 2D elevation, which you guys have. I agree, it kind of sticks out as not as interesting as the rest of it, or perhaps, you know, very bold, but I wanted to show this because I feel like the simplicity of that portion of the building in itself is actually a break in an otherwise very detailed and busy building. So, you know, if we could, you know, break up the rhythm by having a section that's a little bit simpler and has less detail, while keeping a, you know, body color of the building, then we do like it that way. But obviously we defer to what you guys would like to see and what you think looks best.
I'm okay with it.
How'd you
that
come
way.
up with this plain, very plain area,
Are you just gonna move
like
this to
that
building?
between
What?
the rest
Are
of
you
it?
just gonna move this to building?
So the way the building units lay out inside, you,
Thing.
we, I think, put, those are probably bedroom areas that are back to back, and therefore the balconies are farther apart. And, but more than that, it was just, it is a large building, and having the same repetition over and over and over, we thought could be objectionable. And we like the way that it kind of breaks it up a little bit,
Yeah.
makes it look like
Yeah, yes.
a separate piece of a building. architectural style even is a little bit different. We
it's
broke the
nice.
roof line. We have a
it's
different
very
roof. We've
busy.
got a parapet roof up there instead of the tiled roof. So just something to, play with the architecture a little bit.
I actually tend to agree.
I agree too, so
It's my
I,
favorite part of the thing
David,
so
you
far,
wanna
is, like,
state
the
your
way you broke
case?
that up. Well, there's a lot
You
going
okay?
on elsewhere.
It does look,
so-
it does look better on the rendering.
Right.
Well,
So looking at the elevation, it doesn't show that detail. So if it looks like the rendering, that'll be fine.
Yeah, in Damien's defense, nobody saw this rendering until about 11 a.m. this morning when we got it.
Okay.
So it's we feel it's a helpful tool just to show what our intent was and something better
No,
than a
but-
flat 2D print.
no, I definitely think the whites help to break up the facade too. And I also am concerned when you have one, it doesn't look like there's a plane to break the color at either. So it'd be a paint line or something. So
That's another good point.
I like it like this.
Mm,
okay,
I agree.
so I think we're good.
Okay.
Anybody else have questions to the witnesses?
I'd just like to make a comment. I'm pleased. I'm very happy that this is finally coming. I served on the council when we approved the initial part, and it took a long time to get here, but I'm sure glad that it's come to the village now, really is.
Thank you. We hope to make you proud.
I mean, I think it's beautiful. I think the location is amazing for assisted living. It's great, and you guys did a wonderful job there. So congratulations.
And my wife and I get a unit now.
I have two last quick questions.
Sure.
If we go back to this building, what was the requirement for this? What was the recommendation for this building?
The villa to provide a little bit more articulation or interest, I think, on the ends. So
On the ends or the middle?
I think either or.
Either, right.
I think it could be helpful to render that one as well. We do have some articulation, not a ton, but
I
none of
think-
it really appears in 2D.
I don't know, I think they look pretty busy. They look pretty okay to me, and the dormer, I don't know that it looks out of scale, it's hard to tell.
Oh, that was the other one.
I don't know, did you think it was out of scale, or?
I'm not an architect, but I'm not sure. What? Can we go to that image on the big screen?
You're willing to accept these, or I mean,
Well, they're willing to accept staff recommendation
yeah,
to
which,
add
to
something.
change the dormer size and add something?
And something in the middle to break it up.
There's also, what you don't see in this plan is where you have those two garages that are generally mirror images of one another. There will be landscaping in between, and that really softens the appearance of it. You don't see that in this plan, of course.
You have room for landscaping between the two garage doors?
We do, yeah, probably a row of podocarpus or something else that's will contrast against the big building. And then those two ends, you can barely see the articulation, but they pop out. Those are bedrooms. They pop out, gosh, I'm guessing, but I want to say like 8 to 10 feet towards the road. And then the garage itself, where you see that little bit of a contrast line, the roof will break there, and that's maybe 2 or 3 feet. So it could be helpful. Maybe we render it, but of course we'll work with Damien until he's satisfied as well.
The roof also has a lot of breaks and movements that you actually do not see it in 2D.
Lady, ma'am, would you come up and
Oh,
speak
yes,
into
sure.
the
She
microphone?
wasn't sworn in.
Sorry.
Did-
Many with MSA Architects.
Did
She
you
wasn't
swear in?
sworn in. She wasn't sworn in.
Did you
Oh.
swear in?
No. I'm
So,
Lily with
raise
MSA
your
Architects.
right hand, say,
I swear.
Do you swear to
I
say the
swear.
truth,
Oh,
the
this
whole
one.
truth, and nothing but
I
the
do.
truth?
I do. He's right. I think it's a better idea if we render that elevation, because in 2D you don't get to see the break on the roof. We have like a little roof coming to the front, and we have the dormer, then we have another roof, and then we have a farther back roof. So in 2D it's very hard to see the break on this building. We have also the entry door that is protrude back, so we have another break on the roof on the facade. So we have movement going on already there. Maybe with the rendering will help to see that better.
Okay, well, we're gonna approve it as staff recommended, and we'll stipulate that they can show your rendering, and if you're okay with it, you go with it.
Go with it. Okay, and then the last question was, one of the requirements says that the rain leaders have to match the wall color they pass through. Is that, there's a requirement that says the rainwater leaders have to match the wall they're attached to? Does that mean that when it passes through the base, the wall color is white, it passes through a bottom light that's blue or green or whatever, do they need to paint their rainwater leaders
Remember seeing that? It's in the,
with the stripe?
I'm sorry.
It's pretty much,
Can they not just specify what color rainwater leader they want to use on the project? Or they showed white, which looked nice, can they use white?
typically it's consistent with the primary color, or if in the case where it's an accent color, it can be that color. If you're saying in terms of having different colors, no, we wouldn't have different colors throughout. It would be one of the colors.
Okay, good.
I think that's a great observation, and only one other thing I would interject is that oftentimes in buildings like this where we have a lot of dark colors for accents, like in the brackets and the dark metals, that sometimes the rainwater leaders look great in that darker bronze color, but that's not something that,
Well, again,
But we didn't show that right now, we're showing white, which looked
Right,
good
if
too,
you
so.
have-
That's right,
The
yeah,
white looked
so-
really good.
yeah, if you have, what depends on the color that if you have
Sure.
another color, we.
okay.
Okay,
Okay?
Good.
So I'm looking for a motion to.
wait, hold on. Is the staff agree that the railing that they're showing is in keeping with the new Vista or not? Does the staff agree that their railing? design-
Yeah,
I like it. It
yeah,
looks like
looking
a-
at looking at the rendering, it does give it lends itself to, I can see it working with this building more. And
That's
we would
the
agree
urban
with,
bronze thing, right?
And then it has that design that has this like thing.
it's, and it does lend itself to some of the new Vista, so we can tie it in, so we don't have an issue with what they're proposing.
Okay.
Okay. Any more questions from the board or staff to the witnesses?
So have we changed
So-
anything here between talking the proposal? There's a lot going on.
Yeah, how do
Make sure
we,
we're on the same
I
page.
kept track, I hope. I think
feel like
I think the
Agreed
only,
Things that weren't agreed to and proposed things that weren't.
we pretty much going with staff recommendations except for the Exhibit E where the independent living and common elevation, they showed us the rendering and we all agreed it looks fine, so we're gonna strike that one out. We're still going with the staff recommendation for the dormer on the parking garage. And they agree there were miscommunication between you guys about the garden flats, the garden flats, the center area, but now you're in agreement, so we're going with staff recommendation on that. So the only thing we're doing is we're going with staff recommendation with striking out the request of the independent living and common elevation change, and we're gonna allow staff to get the rendering of the villas and the garages, and when they come to an agreement, whatever it is, we'll go with that.
And the railings can stay.
And the railings are okay.
Right,
It's not gonna be consistent with the new Vista.
okay. And the railings, and you agree to that, so there's no problem there. All right, so I need a motion
Motion.
with
Motion to approve
what we just
what you
said,
just said.
which is,
I'll second the motion.
okay, motion by Ms. Stacy Summers, second by former Mayor Tom Minham. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? No, the motion passes. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job, good job.
Okay. All right, next item, ARB 174 was tabled till the next session. So do we have any comments from the public? Any comments from staff? Comments from the board?
Just, yeah, we're gonna be
Yes.
back to our regular schedule if there
Yes.
is some.
April 17th. April 17th is our next meeting.
sounds,
April 17 it is.
Will you all be here? No, I'm just kidding.
Meeting is adjourned.
Okay.
Thank you.